I was in my home with probably about 20 other relatives. They all came to stay with us because my father built a home that was built to withstand a hurricane. He was a contractor before he passed away, and so people always came to our house for the hurricane. So we all stayed there. We all got ready and stayed at my house, probably about 1.5 miles away from the beach. Well, it started with the copper roof and the second story of the house. It began to roll off, and so the whole upstairs started to leak and flood. And we all were freaking out about that, putting bowls everywhere, but what we didn't know is that the water was going to come up. And as soon as the eye, I guess, was passing over, we looked outside because the winds weren't as strong, and we saw the water, and it was getting close. We were like, was the water there just before? And then all of a sudden it came in. We started putting towels down thinking it was going to come in, and started pushing everything like underneath the house, and it gushed up to about 5 foot. We were just in shock trying to pick things up, throw the kids upstairs, and when it got to about 4.5 foot, we just were rushing in shock, just trying to pick up whatever we could, but it all ended up getting ruined anyway. It really was about a 30-minute to maybe about 40-minute period by the time it came all the way up. And as soon as it came up, it all started to go back down. And there was probably about 2 inches of water that we had to actually like push out of the house and sweep out of the house, but it was really a quick amount of time. But I don't know if it's because we were in shock the whole time. We were picking up things, trying to save them, bringing them upstairs, but it really wasn't that long at all. The whole upstairs roof, we just now finally got to gut our house, and the whole upstairs roof has been taken out, and the house has been gutted to about 5 to 6 foot downstairs. But it's, I don't know, devastating. My mom's without, she was in at-home daycare, like she had her own daycare at our house, so she's without work. She's been staying in El Paso, but she can't. We realized that we couldn't sell the house to one of my relatives, so now we're having to come back in and try to figure out what we're going to do. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of up in the air as to what we're going to do. If we're going to sell or try to rebuild. It's just a lot of damage. It was actually crazy because right when we had gone outside, I mean, we had probably about 30, 40 pine trees in my backyard. Every single one of them were snapped, and we had about 3 huge ones that had snapped. So everything looked like a bomb went off, kind of, like the sky was crazy color. And we went outside, and the water was still kind of everywhere, and power lines were down everywhere, so we were scared to walk. But I had actually saw someone that I knew walking from the highway, saying that he just got off the roof with his parents, and he was walking to see if his house was okay, because they stayed at his parents' shop. So it's kind of crazy that I saw someone that I knew, and he said he looked petrified. Like, he said that he held onto the roof, and they were holding on until the storm was over. And after the storm, it was crazy because my sister is a manager at the Super Walmart, and she had ran into the policemen and the firefighters. They hung on to a tree. There were 12 policemen hanging onto a tree, and she got into Walmart, and they got in there before anyone and was able to get socks out and things for the policemen, because everyone, it was weird. There was no help for the first 4 or 5 days. Everyone was just walking around helping each other before any aid actually was able to come get in there and help. Well, I'm right off of Highway 90. Highway 90, and then my road comes off of it, and then for 1.5 miles, like, there's a railroad track, and then over the railroad tracks is the beach, kind of. So it's weird. I don't know if our water came from over the railroad tracks or if it came from all the rivers that pushed through. That's what we really don't know, was where the water actually came in. We knew that it came in through the back door coming this way, and then out the front door. My father always said it won't come over the railroad tracks. It never came over in Camille. The water never ever came over the railroad tracks. So we thought we were safe, and then when we found out, when I walked down, I saw my friend's mom, and she lives right, here's the railroad tracks, and her house is right there, past it, and her whole back wall was pushed in. So they think it came over, I mean, the whole railroad tracks where theirs was totally broken to where the whole back side of her house was wiped out. So we definitely know that it did come over the railroad tracks. I mean, that's what flooded most of the streets. I think that we got some of our water from the beach, but most of it from all the rivers that pushed through. It was probably the second day afterwards. The whole time, like the first night, we were lucky that my sister's house didn't flood or anything. So probably about 20 of us got to stay there. And then the next day we went back to the house, started cleaning everything up. It was weird. We were kind of just running around in circles doing little things just because you're kind of in shock. and we just finally took a break and said, you know, let's take a ride, because one of the cars survived. We had 11 cars in our driveway flood, and my sister's car survived, and so we went riding down, and it was the first place we went was to the Bay Bridge, and it was not there at all, and it was just, I mean, it was unexplainable feelings. Like, we were scared, but there was no way to get in contact with anyone. No phones worked at all. So we finally, someone was walking around with a satellite phone, and we were able to get in touch with one relative, because, you know, they all thought we were dead. I had one sister that drove all the way from St. Louis to come find us. She thought she was going to come bury us. She was scared to death. She brought like thousands of dollars worth of supplies and pulled up. She drove all the way from St. Louis to see, because there was no way to get in contact with anyone. It was scary. It was just unreal, very surreal. But I don't know, just to see, I've lived there my whole entire life, to live in that house, nowhere else, and just to see everything of my childhood, every place, every memory, it's just not there. You go to the beach, all the beautiful homes are just, they're like this high. There's nothing left, nothing. And day by day they'll open up a business, and it's like the town excitement. Oh, Sonic opened. Right when Sonic opened, it's still busy every single day. There's, now Wendy's is open. Oh yay, Wendy's open. It's just the big town thing. But most of the places are still gutted. People are trying to get in there, but it's hard to, there's always rumors, oh, Target's going to rebuild here, but you think things are getting better and better, and then there's something that'll bring you back down. But I mean, we do work together. That was one thing that our town did. There was always someone riding by, do you need ice, do you need this? But I don't know. Right now everyone's just kind of up in the air. They don't know if they're going to sell, they're going to rebuild. Most of my friends lost their homes. Most of them, 95% of them lost their homes. And their parents are all living in FEMA trailers right now, so it's just hard. At first, and I had to say the first day that we came back to school after the hurricane, we were all just very lucky to be able to have a dorm room to go to. And I remember there was probably about 5 of the girls that I grew up with at Bay High, where I went to school, and we just sat in our room and we bawled with anger over all the things that happened. And then we went to a point where we just started saying, oh, well, we got our trailer in, we have somewhere to stay, and I really can't express the feelings, because one day I feel that, you know, things are getting better, getting back to normal, and then another day my mom will call me with depression. And what made me feel the worst was actually for the parents that, you know, built their whole lives to raise a family and have a home, and then it all got destroyed, and where the insurance companies wouldn't help. So constant anger with the insurance companies and with FEMA. I think that's what I was mainly upset about. But at the same time, I'm upset now because I have to go and stay in Hattiesburg. I stay with a friend, because to stay at home, I have to go from sister's house to sister's house. I don't really have a home to go to, so I don't feel like it's my home anymore right now. And that's, I think, the thing it really upsets me to the point where, I don't know, it's unexplainable, really. Something that I would have never thought I would have to deal with ever in my life. But I will never, ever stay for a hurricane, ever. I mean, I've stayed through 3 or 4 in my house, but never again. It's terrifying. I was so overly confident before the storm came, because my father always said that he built it. I mean, it's built out of cinder blocks, steel cinder block. There's steel rod going through with cement blocks and cement poured in, and then brick around it, so there's no really insulation. So I was so confident in my house, and whenever I felt the roof come off is whenever it hit me that we may be in some big trouble. And it was really scary to have, you know, my nieces and nephews there. I mean, just babies running around that we had to make sure we're safe. And yeah, there was a point where, but I didn't really have much time to think. I just knew that I was there with my family. I didn't want to separate with them. I knew, in the back of my mind, I knew everything was going to be okay, but at the same time, it was very, very scary.